It is a Sunday night, Easter night. It's still Easter where I live. Still Easter. We got a couple hours left, but I know a lot of you East Coast people are trickling into the next day, and you're looking for your 2021 fantasy football content. So I'm here to answer some of your questions, a Q&A, and ask me anything. We're going to talk about rookies. We'll talk about Deshaun Watson. We'll talk about the ramifications of that case. We can talk about whatever you want. You can choose the topics, and I'll just kind of get after it. What's up, Wesley? What's up, Nick? Happy Easter, everybody. What's up, Keaton? What's going on? What's up, Tom? Ask me whatever. Let's break it down. Whatever you want. Watson, rookies, the number 3 pick, the number 2 pick, the number 1 pick. Who's taking what quarterback? Where might the running backs go? What do I think of Jamar Chase? What do I think of whatever? Ask me. What's up, Dollar Bill? What's up, Cameron? All right, hit me with the questions. Let's go. Let's roll. Let's roll. What's up, Justin? Can I get your signature hat? Yeah, buddy. Nick, I'm gonna have these on sale very, very soon, and I've got new styles coming out, and I can customize them. So if you want certain player names all over, we'll do that. So get ready for that. That's coming. All the merch, all that's going to be coming, but it's going to be customizable merch. Kind of give it a spin, make it worth getting. Not just going to crank out just my logo or something. They're going to be customizable dope hats. So thoughts on Harris? Najee Harris. What are the Packers doing in the draft? Do you think that they would go wide receiver, right? But they proved last year that we can't predict what they're going to do. But I do believe they will look at a wide receiver in the first round. Depends on who falls. Thoughts on Najee Harris? I like Najee Harris in the right situation. I'm doing a podcast on that right now. Let me break this down. And guys, might not see some of the questions in here. Cam Akers, I'll try and get to that next. So slow the roll in the questions because I will miss them because I'm going to rant on Akers. I'm going to rant on Najee Harris. Then I'm going to ask for questions again. So bear with me, okay? You're probably going to ask me, and I'm not going to be able to get to it yet because I won't see it. Najee Harris in the most ideal spot would be my number 1 ranked rookie running back. But I don't know that Najee Harris, from a talent perspective, is on the same page as a couple different running backs. Let me give you a couple guys I think that are ranked number 1 in my book. ETN is probably the number 1 ranked running back for me. And I think as of right now, if I had to predict, I would draft ETN ahead of Harris. I really would. I think he'll land in a good spot. I think ETN and Harris will both land in the first round with a team that needs a running back and will utilize them properly, whether it's Miami, whether it's Pittsburgh, whether it's a couple different scenarios where I could see a running back going Buffalo. And I think ETN and Harris will find those homes. I'm being predictive. I will adjust and adapt. Don't be shocked if the Chargers take ETN or Najee Harris. I know everyone's going to be like, you can't do that. You can't do it. You don't know that. You don't know that. Eckler was at his best when he had Melvin Gordon. It might be something that they look into. Now, if Kyle Pitts were somehow to fall, and he won't, but if he was somehow to fall to the Chargers at pick 15 or whatever the Chargers are at, they would grab him in a heartbeat, and Kyle Pitts would go crazy with Herbert. I hope the Chargers trade up to get Kyle Pitts, because Kyle Pitts would go bonkers in year 1 with Justin Herbert. And Herbert would be, top 3 if he had Kyle Pitts on that team. I'm excited about that. But breaking down the running backs by talent, and let me preface again, this is talent, not where I probably draft them, okay? You can get away with getting Hubbard later. My number 1 talent-based running back, talent only, not landing spot, not where I draft him, not where I rank him, not where I trade for him, not where I do anything. This is talent-based. If you said, Smitty, tell me who the best running backs are. Number 1, Travis Etienne. Number 2, Chuba Hubbard. And I know you're going to say, Chuba Hubbard's going to be a backup in the NFL. Smitty, he might. I'm not arguing with you. You don't win that argument. I've been saying that the whole time. Every time I talk about Chuba Hubbard, I follow it up with the shameful part is that a team may not actually buy into this guy being the next Alvin Kamara or Antonio Gibson, which is so frustrating because a team's going to draft him. Like, clearly they like him. Clearly they like him. They're going to draft him, but yet they don't necessarily know what they've got. talent-based, it's ETN and Chuba Hubbard. I think Javonte Williams and Najee Harris are very, very close, and you could almost argue like a tie talent-based. And I'm not sure. I believe that Najee Harris will find a bona fide every down back role. That's what's going to make Najee Harris probably the 1.1 or most people's, without equivocation, number one ranked running back. Unless ETN lands in exactly same upside type spot. What's up, Mark? Then you have a split where half the people love ETN, half the people love Harris. I think even in a split, you'd have a little more people leaning on the Harris side. And look, for all of you in here that love Harris and you think I'm crazy because I like Chuba Hubbard talent-wise better or as much, you're looking at two different systems. You're looking at usage that's different. Najee Harris, you could argue, is not as quick as some other running backs, and at the NFL level that might show, but in the right environment, the dude's gonna. Yes, I'll sign it, Nick. When you purchase it, I'll sign your copy of your hat, no problem, Nick. But it's kind of like, Chuba Hubbard is probably, if I had to guess, not gonna. Let me sit down. This is a crucial topic. Okay, crucial topic here. Harris is 4'5", 230 pounds. Being fast and being quick are different things, bro. There's a lot of people out there and reports saying that he's a little bit slow in certain aspects of his game. That's not a new thing that I just cooked up, but 40 times different than game speed and all over the field. I think Chuba Hubbard, if he was used properly, would be Alvin Kamara. But again, and when I said, and I know a lot of people, and I don't blame you, Daddy Kong, for liking Najee Harris. And you're not going to be able to say, "Oh, Smitty, I told you he's the number one running back." I'm telling you that if he lands in the right spot, he lands in an ideal spot, he will be the best running back production-wise. So it all comes down to where these guys land. Oh yeah, last year there was JT Swift, Clyde, Gibson, J-Rob. Nobody saw Gibson as the player. Like, a lot of people liked him, but Gibson kind of came up in a surprising fashion because he's being drafted like in the second round now. A lot of people that like Gibson still wouldn't have predicted he'd go like in the top 15, top 17, top whatever. I think fantasy-wise is ETN. I like ETN a lot. Talent-wise, Najee Harris all day. I get it. I don't blame you. You're not wrong, Daddy. The only stance that's wrong is an absolute unmovable stance. Like, if you tell me that there's no way Chuba Hubbard's better than Najee Harris, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say it up front. That's take a lap material, because neither one of us should be telling the other that we know exactly what can happen. Things unfold differently. Jonathan Taylor, by midseason, became almost droppable in a lot of redraft leagues. And in fact, he got dropped in a lot of novice leagues. And it was like, pick him up right away. Like, that was my number one recommendation. But he failed. He had big hype. He failed. And then he turned it back on. Nobody can see all this coming. Nobody knows for sure where the Alvin Kamara's lie, the Justin Jeffersons, the George Kittle type players. He's a fifth rounder. Even on an NFL level, Tom Brady running that 40. How many of you, if some of you were alive, a lot of you probably weren't, saw Tom Brady run by, and you probably had no idea the GOAT just slowly dragged himself across the field on a 40-yard dash, and you dismissed him. You dismissed everything about him. Who saw Kurt Warner coming? Obviously, 32 teams didn't. And then he comes from the grocery bagging line into the NFL and becomes one of the best players to ever play the game. So to everybody that's saying, hey, I can't believe you don't like Harris number one, or Harris is the guy, how do you not know that? Stop, okay? Because this stuff can go 100 different directions. One injury, one landing spot, one coach that believes in a player that has the right talent and skill set, like Kamara. And I'll say this. I had Alvin Kamara as a top 5 running back as a rookie. And I'll be honest, Rapper retired. I think he said he might retire. I don't know if he's going to, but that guy, man, he's like, I picture him with a backpack just traveling the world, always and forever. Where was I at? You guys, it's so hard to read the chat, man. You guys you derail me all the time. Sermon is just Sermon could be the number 1 running back. Like, that's the thing. Like, everyone acting like before landing spots come out, you can have this absolute unmovable stance. Like, oh, Harris is the guy for sure. You know, like, if he's your guy, I get it. But ETN landing in Buffalo and in Buffalo wanting to use him properly, he would be an absolute monster. Trent Richardson totally bombed. Clyde Edwards-Helaire bombed in many ways last year, although I believe in him this year. So yeah, let's cut out the absolute talk, okay? And number one, talent wise, number 1, ETN. Number 2, Chuba Hubbard, and I'll put Chuba Hubbard 2. I'll put Najee Harris slightly over Javonte Williams, and then I'll predict it differently. I'll predict the likelihood of you drafting Najee Harris 1, and me even recommending it probably has the highest odds, because he's probably going to a place where he's going to get volume. And then what does he become? A Marshawn Lynch? Is that bad? Am I not giving him enough credit when I say that he will be the next Marshawn Lynch? That's pretty damn good. So if he's Marshawn Lynch, he's getting drafted number 7, 8, 7 to 12 overall. That's pretty damn good. So Harris has a bright future. But there are some people that do believe Harris will struggle to translate at the same level, at the NFL level, but an ideal situation will change all that. Who is really the best running back in North Carolina? I like Carter a lot. I like Javonte Williams a lot too, and I think either one of them can thrive. I think you got a lot of these guys like Gainwell, Hill, Carter, blanking out on a couple of Jefferson. There's a couple other running backs that literally, like, a good landing spot puts them right in the top 4 for all running backs. This is the one year where landing spot will determine not just the top guy, which it did last year with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but it's going to maybe flip the top 4 or 5 upside down. Like, landing spot can completely, in this particular draft, flip it all upside down. Top 20 pick for A.J. Brown? Absolutely. But do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, am I answering that question properly? Do you understand where I'm coming from with these rookies? I understand Najee Harris is probably the number 1 ranked rookie running back coming out of the draft, but landing spot could flip all 4 or 5 of the top guys upside down. You could have Carter going number 2. You could have Javonte Williams going number 1 overall in all of your rookie drafts if he lands in Miami or Pittsburgh, even though Pittsburgh's got some problems. But Pittsburgh with Javonte Williams, Pittsburgh with Najee Harris, I could see that happening. If Najee landed in San Fran, like, somehow, let's say Jimmy G gets traded and the Niners get some kind of like 24th overall, and somehow Najee Harris falls, I don't think he'll fall past 25 or 26, 27. But if he did and the Niners got him, he'd be a top 5 running back. If Javonte Williams fell to the Niners, he would be a potential top 5 running back. If ETN fell to the Buffalo Bills, or he fell to the Steelers or the Miami Dolphins, and ETN falls into a more Harris falls into a more cloudy situation, which probably won't happen because his draft capital cost is so high. A team taking Najee is more likely to need him for 3 downs, and it's going to be harder for him to fall into a cloudy situation. Much easier to fall into a cloudy situation for Javonte Williams, for Hubbard, for Hill and Carter and Gainwell and all those guys. Sermon, as we mentioned, Sermon falls in Pittsburgh. Where do you rank Sermon? Like you can't have. My point to Daddy and everybody in here is that you can't have the set in stone ranking of these rookies, the running backs, because landing spot's more vital than it ever has been before. Not to say they're all average, because that's not the right word. They're all very similarly talent based and situations enough to just tweak the ADP and value out of 4, 5, or 6 of these running backs. Imagine if Gainwell landed in the most ideal. Then what would people do? It's crazy. Ayuk, a wide receiver 2, potentially, yeah. Depends on the quarterback situation. If they take Mac Jones, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about Mac Jones yet. And then they trade Jimmy. Like, who knows how many footballs will be delivered as a rookie on behalf of Mac Jones, and then what do you have to divide up? If Watson were to have landed in San Fran, which probably most certainly won't happen now, he may never play again, then Ayuk would have been, so much higher on my rankings, but I worry a little bit about it. Sermon would fit the system. Yes, he would in Pittsburgh, and Sermon in Pittsburgh could be the number 1 or number 2 ranked running back. It's that crazy. It's that, like last year, if I would have told you, hey, not much of what I could have told you pre-draft would have taken Jonathan Taylor out of your top 2 running backs, But this year, I'm telling you, ETN could go 1 or he could go 3. Harris could go 1, 2, probably still be around there, but Javonte Williams could go 4 or 1. Sermon could go 2 or 6. Carter could go 5 or 2. And to speak in absolutes about all this, I mean, what the hell are you doing? Not you, Daddy Kong, but other people, that are like, how can you be so bold as to tell me Chuba Hubbard's your favorite running back? He's my favorite running back. He's not my number 1 ranked running back. He's the most likely to be Alvin Kamara or Antonio Gibson in this draft. Like it or not, those are, in my mind, the facts, but I can't speak to the likelihood or where he's going, the likelihood he gets full-time work or the right usage. I can't because I don't know who's taking him. If somebody takes Chuba Hubbard and I know the landing spot, then I can be a little more predictive, although I can't be 100% exact. Clearly, with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, we were taught a lesson that situation could look king, and then it can checkmate you. Deshaun Watson playing. Look, Woody. Deshaun Watson not only may not play in 2021, there's a high likelihood Deshaun Watson never plays in the NFL again. Never plays in the NFL again. That's not me convicting him or trying him without even, listening to his side of the story or whatever. That's me telling you based on what I believe the NFL will do. And even your comment, Avi, free Watson, you don't know whether he's guilty or innocent. So I think as quick as some people are to say, hey, he's innocent, let's see what happens first, Avi, because we don't know that he's innocent. I'm not going to push stuff out there that says free Watson when he could be guilty. He may be innocent. So I'm not going to say free him or don't free him. But because we don't know the details behind the situation, Avi, we can only say don't judge him, until we know. But free Watson, no, I don't know about that, bro. Like, we don't know. He's got 21 climbing to almost 30 individual cases that are now lumped into one lawsuit. Yeah, but they're individual, bro. Like, I'm going to have an attorney on one of my upcoming shows to talk about what it means if 1 or 2 or even 5 of the cases fall apart. Let's say somebody's completely lying and trying to pile on this lawsuit and want to get money. Avi, in 21 cases, bro, I'm not saying he's guilty, but you're certainly confident that in 21 to 30 cases, you're 100% sure that Watson's innocent. Come on, bro. None of us know. None of us know. What's up, media? It's not a coincidence that charges come right after this situation. I changed my opinion on when the story of Watson without saying their name and filing a lawsuit. Look, am I shredded yet? No, not yet, Ian. But I'm running every night. I'm trying to drop some lbs. I'm stretching right now because I'm going to go running after this. But my point, Avi, is not that you're gonna be wrong. Like maybe we will be all saying free Watson, whatever. But dude, there's 21 to 30 pending cases. It's time to just be like, okay, we don't know. But here's what I will say: the NFL is very, very quick, very, very quick to cast judgment and rapture a player from the NFL from playing. And I believe, my personal opinion is, you do have to be innocent until proven guilty, and it's going to depend on what the DA finds. And the problem, Avi, let me tell you, let me break this down as I know it and understand it, and I'll have a legal mind that's smarter than me on these topics to break it down. Everybody's first reaction was, why are there no criminal cases yet? If this was real and legit, why would the police not be involved? Because they were looking into it. When a crime happens on a civil level, the DA and the police, they will look into it if it's brought to their attention. If no one files a report, like let's say I have my gnome sitting here, okay? I put my gnome here. It's a Smitty gnome. It's got a Smitty hat on. There's a Smitty gnome. I set it down right there. Somebody comes by and takes my Smitty gnome. And I'm like, bro, my Smitty gnome has been taken. I do a live. I'm like, my Smitty gnome's gone. And I find out that it's Bill from accounting. Right inside here. Bill from accounting. He's got my gnome. So I file a civil case against Bill. What are the police going to do? The police have no idea that my gnome's sitting on his counter in his kitchen, and until I tell them, until they find out that he's a gnome stealer. Austin, thank you for the super chat. If he's a gnome stealer, then the police find out about it. They're going to look into it. If they feel like there's enough evidence, they will then pursue a case against it. Open a case, look at it, figure out if they need to file charges, and then go get Bill from accounting, taking my gnome. So, point being, the police did have a shot at getting involved. When everyone kept saying, well, why aren't the police involved? Why aren't the police involved? They were on their way of looking into it. They were looking into the situation. They found out there was enough evidence to open a case, to poke around. They still may not bring charges and say, we're closing the case. There isn't evidence at all that this happened. And that will be a good thing for Watson, even though the civil stuff is still going on at this point because it's 21, upward of 21 cases. It's going to be good news if the Houston police says we're not going after him. That will be a really, really good step for Watson to use to paint the picture that, hey, I am being set up here or whatever. So until we know what the police do, the Houston police and their investigation, no one can say anything, man. And the bottom line is the NFL eventually, if there's bad news coming out of Houston, the Houston Police Department, they'll put Watson on the commissioner exempt list and let him sit there all year. He won't have a suspension yet. He won't have anything. He'll just be sitting there waiting in purgatory without any kind of advising of when it could be looked like. They'll literally just say, we're going to put you on the side. You can't play. We're not handing out a suspension. We're waiting. That's what they'll do. Austin's question was on a lighter note. What do you think of Melvin Gordon this year? Oh, God, that's a tough one, bro. That's a tough one because it kind of feels like Melvin Gordon dropped off big time. It kind of feels like Melvin Gordon was not valuable at all on any level. But then you look at the stats and it's like, man, he didn't do that bad. He was averaging was it over 5 yards a carry? Anybody have that in front of them? Tell me what Melvin Gordon's stat line was. Tell me his average per carry. His total yards weren't great, but his average per carry and how many TDs did he get? And how many receptions did he get? Somebody dropped that stat for me. But dude, it was a pretty surprising line. It wasn't amazing, but it makes me think he per touch actually has some left in the tank, and I didn't really realize it because the volume wasn't there. But the volume wasn't there. That's a concern. Staying healthy is a concern. TJ Dockett, Travis Henry. What do you think about A.J. Brown? Yeah, A.J. Brown's going to eat, bro. 4.9 yards per carry, Daddy Kong said. I mean, he looked okay. He looked okay on the per usage, um, level. But I don't know. But to answer your question, man, I'm not expecting much. Like, would I take him as a backup running back, like my first backup running back? Probably not. Yeah, 986, 9 TDs. I mean, that's surprising, is it not? Daddy Kong, Honest Abe, thank you for dropping those stats. But tell me you weren't shocked when you saw that. Yeah, Daddy Kong's like, I didn't realize that. I didn't either. So, but I worry about usage. I worry about dropping off. Will they draft another running back? Bro, anything could happen. Keep Swift 7th, Dobbins 9th, or Josh Allen 10th. Wow. Dobbins 9th. Jeez. Dobbins 9th. Easy call. If you've got to pick one of those, bro, as much as I love Josh Allen, you can still draft him back. Swift is a good value too. You can't really go wrong, but I don't like Detroit. Goff. I feel like they're going to screw this pick up too. This number 7 or 8 or whatever pick they have, number 9. I don't know. I forget what pick the Lions have, but it's a top 10 pick, and it probably screwed up, bro. I like J.K. He's a later keep too in the 9th round, but you could probably draft back Allen, so I wouldn't go Allen. Hit the thumbs up if you're on the way in the door. Yeah, I get it. I get a Swift injury vibe too, bro. I'm targeting Aaron Rodgers in the 2nd round in my super flex. It's not bad. It's super flex. Dobbins, yeah. Avi agrees with me. But yeah, Melvin Gordon, bro, I appreciate the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Also, Anthony. But the Melvin Gordon super chat, bro, I appreciate that. I like him as like maybe your first backup. But, you could say like emergency running back 2 or emergency flex if you don't draft a running back 2 for a hell of a long time. I could be okay with that too. Like if you go wide receiver, and somehow you get like Antonio Gibson and you're like, in the 3.1, let's say, or 3 point, something crazy. And then you don't draft a running back for a while and he's like your running back 2. Or if you go McCaffrey, Kittle, and Mahomes, let's say. I'm just giving you a couple examples. And then you don't draft a running back for a round or a couple rounds, like 3 rounds more, 2 rounds more. I don't know where Melvin Gordon's going. But then that would be a legit running back 2, given your draft style. So later. Melvin Gordon could be a stud for a wide receiver team. That's what Honest Abe's reading my mind. Smitty's a great fantasy tool. Always love the honest input. Thank you, Daddy Kong. And I don't mind Daddy Kong when you push back against me. You say Harris, is better. Like I go at the stance, not really you. So never take it personally if I start, going crazy against something that any of you say. I love y'all, and I'll take a lap any day of the week for you. I'm stretching right now, getting ready to go take my lap. But I never, ever mean it in a harsh way. It's kind of like I get excited, man. I get excited and I get amped. And I have one keeper, super flex, Justin Jefferson, bro. It's going to be great. In fantasy, it will, but IRL Packers run game will be amazing. Hey, it's okay. Have debates. Yep. Who should the Colts draft this year, bro? I feel like the Colts they'll probably take. God, who are they going to take? I could see him going wide receiver. I could see him going defense for sure in the 1st round. Jacobs a bum. What did I tell you about Josh Jacobs? Everybody giving me a hard time last year about midseason, right? When he's like, I'm not playing. And then he lied to everybody, flipped everybody off, told you to F your fantasy. And then I go crazy on Twitter and Instagram saying he's being childish and how could he do that to, his own fan base? Like, I don't care. I know nobody cares about fantasy, but they should. We make up a majority of the viewership of the NFL. Players should take fantasy football seriously. And sorry to burst your bubble, Fred, 2751, but we are important to the NFL and the viewership and jersey sales and you think people don't play fantasy football? Like, come on. And you don't cater to it? Like, in 5 years, we're going to reflect back and laugh that anybody even crapped on fantasy football at all that plays the NFL. You watch. Every single player is going to understand the impact and how treating your fantasy football fans well will trigger more social media buzz. These players are going to start making money. Everybody doesn't understand how big social media is getting and the internet and how much things are going to grow and grow and grow. Your brand while you're in the NFL will be 100 times more important than it is right now. Brands will be absolutely vital to every single player, and people are going to want to 100% take care of their brand. Sorry, there's people coming around distracted. They don't know I'm doing a show. Take a lap. Take a lap. Take a lap. So Jacobs should be protecting his brand. He doesn't realize how much money he can make with his brand if he does things right. Fantasy makes people watch NFL most. I agree, Avi. It's stupid. I love when people say things like, nobody cares about your fan. Like, whenever I post something about, and I'm not like telling people or players that they're dumb or attacking players, I'm attacking their actions or something. But if I say that was really childish of Jacobs, he shouldn't be flipping off his own fans. Like, don't trust him in 2021 because he doesn't have his head on straight. I said that over and over about Jacobs. And then everyone the haters would be like, hey, Smitty, he doesn't care about your football. Like, get over yourself. Like, he should. Honestly, only watch football because of fantasy. Yeah, dude, a lot of people would stop watching football if they quit fantasy football. Love the red zone. All right. Akers. Someone asked me about Akers earlier on. I said I would address that. Then I'm going to go back to questions. Ready? Akers. Look, I said avoid Akers at all costs last year because I didn't trust how they would use him, when they would use him, when they would unleash him if he'd stay healthy. And he didn't do well until the end of the year. Like, I was not off base on my 2020 Akers evaluation. But what I do is I'm honest and I change directions whenever I feel like I need to. And Akers looked like at the end of the year, they bought into him. They were feeding him a ton. Dodger passed away, Hazel. Yep, the deuce dropper. We lost Dodger later in the year last year, so no more deuces being dropped on the show, unfortunately. But we got little Smitty dropping deuces in her diaper, and I occasionally will show those for you if you really need to see a picture of a studio deuce. We're deucing in the studio all the time. I'll just put it that way. Akers has a ton of value, ton of risk, more value than risk. The risk is there because of the injury-prone situation that I think comes along with Akers, the way he runs, his running style. Thank you. His running style, head first, does a lot of that. Not trusting the Rams to do what they need to do. The Rams have failed people before at the running back position time and time again. Since Todd Gurley's decline, have failed at the running back position time and time again. So there's some risk to him. But he does, I'll admit, I change directions when I need to. He does have, I'd say, high running back 2 potential. Some could say running back 1, low running back 1. I get it. He does run violent, Daddy Kong, and that's not a great thing for a guy that leads with his head. He literally leads with his head. Now, he changed some of that behavior in the NFL, so it's good. But we didn't get a big dose of him, though. We got to see a small sample size of him breaking off some long runs. He looked pretty good. But he's a very, very injury-prone guy. And I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for still saying that, but I'm also telling you that the risk is high, but the upside's high. If you want to take the risk, you might get a whole lot of upside per start. But I don't draft Akers at 12 or 13. A lot of people are. I'd rather have another player. I'd rather have a DK Metcalf, a Ridley, a lot of these wide receiver ones that fall in like the 8 to 15, 18, 8 to 14 overall range could be the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy football. I would rather have Justin Jefferson in 2021 redraft than I would Akers. I'd probably rather have Robinson over Akers to answer your question there, Bronson, but I could understand people feeling differently about that. And I don't think anybody's right or wrong. It's just preference at that point. What's my favorite stack of players? I probably would say my favorite stack. That's a tough one. I mean, how can you not like Tyreek Hill and Mahomes, bro, or Adams and Rodgers, or Josh Allen and Diggs? Like they're all really good. I don't know that one is like massively crazier than the other. I like Dobbins and Ridley. But I don't know if that's like my favorite team that I come away with, on draft day from those spots or where those guys are. Akers only caught 11 passes. Yeah, but he didn't get going till later. Like, you really can't judge Akers. Even me, who's critical, and can't judge him totally. Smitty, any thoughts on Elijah Mitchell? Looks like he could be this year's find. He could be, bro. I like Mitchell. Rodgers and Adams, highest. You would pick Montgomery, fourth round. I don't know where in the fourth round, but he's a good first drafted running back. Or second, first running back taken in a wide receiver approach. So I guess the earliest I would take him would be like late third as my third drafted player, my first running back in a wide receiver draft approach. But if you could get him in the fourth round, I mean, unbelievable. Like Clyde in the third round, Monty in the fourth round, and then grab, DK and Hill, or DK and Ridley, or Justin Jefferson, like that would be a fire beginning. Christian McCaffrey going to come out with a vengeance. I believe he will. Look, he came back per start, freaking phenomenal. Like, oh, we're going to ease him back in. No, they didn't. Kamara went nuts per start, but he got hurt again. He came back, did amazing, got hurt again right away. He's the best running back every time he's on the field. I get the injury risk, but I kind of feel a little bit like Kamara is going to walk into 2021 like, I'm sorry, McCaffrey is going to walk into 2021 like Kamara walked into 2020. A lot of injuries the year prior, little lingering ones, nothing like ACL or, something completely torn that required surgery. That's how Kamara walked into 2020, and people were like, I don't know. I don't trust him. He was banged up all last year. Kamara went on a tear. Christian McCaffrey, you got to grab his cuff, but it's not Mike Davis. Mike Davis is now elsewhere, bro. So they'll probably draft a rookie. And what if they draft Hubbard? That'll suck because Hubbard won't be an immediate play, but that could be a quietly attractive place for a Chuba Hubbard or a Carter or a Hill or, the Mitchell or whoever. That could be a really good place for a backup running back, because if McCaffrey does break down eventually and very soon, and I would say McCaffrey's got 2 years left, at best, at the same volume he's getting before he starts missing grips of games. I think he can come in and be elite for 1 to 2 more years, though. I don't know that he's going to miss grips of games right away. I think this feels more a lot like that Kamara year in 2019. Breeze out hurts AK. It does and it doesn't, man, because Breeze, like, even if you could bring Breeze back this year, he's tailing off talent wise and arm strength wise. So the interesting part here, and I don't know if anybody wants to chime in with what they think, but you know how Minnesota, when I said in my intro, Dalvin Cook, top 5 running back, and everyone was doubting Dalvin Cook. He was like a number 20 overall pick, and he was my top 5 breakout player. The Vikings kind of gave you a dose of what they were going to do in 2018? Was it 2018, 2017, 2018? They gave you a dose of what they were going to do with their new offense. And that it was going to be a comeback year for Dalvin Cook. And they gave us about a 3 or 4 game window of that offense. And we're like, okay, this is what they're taking into 2018 or whatever it was. I feel like the Saints kind of gave us a dose of what they might be doing with the running game in 2021. Alvin Kamara, I'm not saying 6 touchdowns is what we can expect, but Alvin Kamara, 150 yards and 6 TDs in week 16. They ran Kamara differently than they've ever ran him before. Why? Are they looking to change their offense a little bit? Are they going to lean on Kamara on the ground? Now, I don't know if Kamara stays healthy for 3-4 years like that, but maybe 1 to 2 years, Kamara could get, workhorse running and a little bit less receiving. But what we do know is if Taysom Hill's in there, we got to hope that Kamara does see a different amount of touches a different way, or we might see Kamara tail off. We also didn't get, Taysom Hill didn't get a chance to learn the entire playbook because of COVID. He wasn't even prepared enough to come in the game that Breeze went down. So who came in when Breeze went down? Winston. But then who came in the next week? Hill. They wanted Hill in there, but Hill wasn't prepared enough. So if you judge Hill or if you judge Kamara with Hill in the lineup too harshly, you might be overlooking the fact that Hill didn't know everything. He didn't know the playbook. They had to keep things simple. And that in turn phased Kamara out. Whereas if Hill can prepare all year, Winston can prepare all year. And they'll prepare both of them. Make no mistake about that. They're not going to just not prepare Hill. They're paying Hill 100 or Taysom Hill. It's all avoidable each year. But a $140 million deal tells you that they might have thoughts that this guy could be their starting quarterback. So don't think Winston's a lock. And even if Winston starts week 1, Taysom Hill will be in between the 20 and the goal line almost every time. Whenever they're inside the 20s, it won't be like where Breeze was in there and then every once in a while Taysom Hill will come in within the 20s. No, I believe you could be looking at within the 20s all Taysom Hill every time. And that will get him prepared and ready, and they can see what he can do. And he's great inside there. Winston's going to struggle. Everybody excited about Winston's going to lose a lot of Winston's, but goal line and inside the 20 work, the red zone work. Once they're in the red zone, bro, it's going to be like we may never see Taysom or Winston throw footballs because if you watch the red zone, you're only going to see Taysom Hill in there because he's always in there in the red zone. But I think that with Taysom Hill getting a full offseason, no COVID, full offseason to learn the playbook, you might see Alvin Kamara catch more passes from Taysom Hill. So judging Taysom Hill and Kamara together is premature, in my opinion. You hear what I'm saying? I didn't mean to beat a dead horse on that, but hope the Saints trade up for a QB. I love Ridley. Kamara also said he was pissed. He's snap passes catching. He said he's going to tell Taysom to feed him next year. Again, I think it had to do with Taysom didn't have the playbook down. We talked about Najee Harris already, Matthew, at the beginning for a long time, so rewatch the live. What's up, Martin? Is Jalen Hurts a top 10 to 12? He's probably a top 7 to 12. Could he be 12? Yeah. Could he be 7? Yeah. Do I feel confident he's 7 or 12? No, because there's a lot of good quarterbacks, man, and I really like him. He could be a top 7 quarterback. Ian, good night. Smitty, I'm on the East Coast. Thank you, bro, for showing up. Spread the word. Hit the thumbs up on your way out the door. I might do this. It won't normally be Sunday night, but I might do this out and about live like this. I just feel like it gets me out of the studio, gets me in a different headspace. I feel like I can do a Q&A a little bit better out here where I don't have to worry about anything. So I think I might do 1 or 2 of these a week. Do you guys like this? 1 or 2 of these like Q&As. I'm outside, just talking to you guys, not worried about the studio, not worried about anything around me, just kind of getting out of here. And so, yeah, I think I'm going to do that at least once or twice a week. Amari, CD, it's going to be CD all day long, alley-oop. Anything's possible, bro. But I think CD Lamb's going to be a top 5 wide receiver. We haven't talked about Pitts yet, Matthew. I've talked about Pitts a ton. We talked about him for a few seconds. I said that he could potentially, what if he landed in a Chargers uniform, bro? Imagine Kyle Pitts catching passes from Herbert. Are you kidding me? That would be absolutely insane, man. That'd be just crazy. Herbert to Pitts. You kidding me? That'd be absolutely legit. 10:30. I don't know what time. What time is it East Coast right now? I think it's. I'm 3 hours earlier than East Coast. I think Pitts goes to Atlanta, says Daddy Kong. He could, very well could. I hope I don't hate that, but there's a couple spots I like better. The problem is the spots I like better are later in the first round. And if you ask me, Smitty, do you want him to go to Atlanta, where you kind of like it, or take the chance that he falls and then gets taken in a place between 4 and 10, or 10 or whatever, in a location I don't like Detroit, where you have Goff throwing the football, and then you got Hawkinson. Like, no, I don't want. I'd rather take Atlanta without rolling the dice. I think because I don't think Pitts will last to Dallas, Philly, um, the Giants, or the Cowboys. Or I said the Cowboys twice. The Cowboys, Philly, Giants, and Chargers. They're all in a row. Those picks are all like, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, whatever it is. They're all in a row. So if Pitts falls to that top pick, which I believe is Dallas, I think they're 10, I believe. I'm not positive. But if they fall to 10, if Pitts falls to 10, then there's like zero chance in my mind that he slips past that string of 4 picks all in a row. It's like Dallas, Philly, Giants, and Chargers, I believe. So I'd rather him go in one of those places than Atlanta, believe it or not. But I like Atlanta probably right after that. Pancakes or waffles? Give me pancakes, man. A lot of butter, a lot of syrup. Aaron Jones, top 5 running back. Matt, very much could be the case, but not a guarantee. Tua or Hurts, I go Hurts by 1,000 miles, bro. By a lot, by a lot. I'm buying in on Pitts at the 1.4 super flex. Yeah, bro. Pitts is going to be a baller. Pitts is going to be the number. He'll be. I bet you Pitts has a shot in Dynasty to be the number 1 tight end in 1 year. People drafting him as a number 1 tight end. Rodgers repeat year, yeah. Fried or grilled chicken, dude. I like both. Texas should trade Fuller. Fuller's no longer on the Texans, Avi. I'm drafting Pitts and then Irv Smith late. I don't blame you. Jerry could resist Pitts at 10. Yeah, Jerry couldn't resist Pitts at 10, bro. On the note of Jerry, if we're talking Jerry's, man, Jerry Jeudy, top 10 wide receiver potential. Is he a lock? No. Does he have risk? Yeah, if you're buying him at that value, but you don't have to buy him anywhere near top 10, bro. So Jerry Jeudy is a amazing grab, bro. Amazing. Sanders falling to the late third. Miles Sanders, I hope. Then I like it. I'm back in on the Miles Sanders train. And there's a stark difference between Miles Sanders going at 14 overall last year, where everybody was taking him, and I'm like, what are you doing? Doug Peterson. 2 words. Doug Peterson. Doug. He doesn't do it. He doesn't run 1 running back. He doesn't do it. And then you got the injury risk. You got everything going against Miles Sanders at 14 overall value. And yet people thought he was the safest guy in the world. But guess what? I kind of like him at 3rd round value. That's where he should have been last year. Love ETN. Does 10-man PPR league change the decision between Swift, Dobbins, and Josh Allen? No. I still like Dobbins better. At a 9th rounder versus Swift at 7. And again, Josh Allen you could draft, and in a 10 QB league, even more so not to go Josh Allen, because there are so many good quarterbacks. You could get A-Rod, as your starting quarterback really late. Sanders, I think, will fall to the 3rd round. I don't know about late 3rd round, but he'll be in the 3rd round, bro. Hot dog or sandwich, I like both. Depends on the sandwich, man. A sandwich probably can outdo a hot dog. Like, the best sandwich is by far, that's like a good landing spot, bro. The best sandwich can crush the best hot dog, but a really good, damn good hot dog can beat a lot of crap sandwiches, bro. So, context matters on that one. Rank my dynasty running backs: Gibson, Dobbins, Akers, and Zeke. I probably would go myself Gibson, Dobbins, Akers, Zeke, and that's with a heavy heart, man. I like Zeke a lot, but the mileage is through the roof, bro. Like, you look at his mile, like, he could have 1 more year left, certainly, but the mileage is through the roof. Like, it's hard to envision him having multiple years left, but could he have 1 really good year? I think he could. Titans will be looking secondary in the draft, says Daddy Kong. Gibson over Dobbins and Akers. I mean, I don't know how that deserves 2 exclamation points. Oh, wait, no. 2 exclamation points and 2 question marks, Noah. Really? Gibson, Dobbins, Akers? You're going to give me a hard time about the ranking of those three very evenly, ranked guys across people's rankings boards, bro? Like, really? Come on, Noah. Noah, I don't think you've changed my mind once, Noah. Can't guard Mike late second round? No. Not a steal, Avi. Third round, steal. Second round, probably avoid only because you're going to draft him over A.J. Brown, bro? You're going to draft him over Calvin Ridley if he falls, or DK Metcalf, or Gibson. But when you get to the third round, when I start listing off the names there, yeah, I probably could go Mike Thomas. So can't guard Mike Thomas in the third round. He could be a steal, bro. In the second round, it's weird that I talk about that line in the sand, bro. It's like this. This is the first. Let me show you. This is the first round. Okay, this is the first round. Okay, first round, hell no. Second round, hell no. I got some dirt on my shoe, bro. These are my running shoes. I got my long ass socks on. I'm going running. I look like I'm going running in a clown suit, dude. I got the fucking tall blue socks on, red shoes with a stain. These Adidas shoes rock though. I can't get rid of them. I don't care if they're stained or not. First round, no. Second round, Mike Thomas, no. Line in the sand is like the third round. Hells to the yeah. Mike Thomas is a fantastic value right in here. Right in here, bro. Elite. Security guard. He doesn't like that I'm screaming. Security guards always come up to me because I'm loud. I'm like sitting on the corner, bro. I'm screaming, take a lap. They're like, what is this guy doing? He can't possibly be talking to people. How could he be talking to fans or doing a live stream? He's like treating these people like garbage, telling them to take a lap. Talking about gnomes. Bill from accounting. This guy's unhinged, man. Terry McLaurin top 5. You know what, Matthew? Don't rank him. Don't you dare rank McLaurin as a top 5 wide receiver. Could he be that good? Absolutely, bro. But you better make sure you don't go drafting him at your highest expectation level. Like, don't do that. There's a lot of people out there be like, dude, I love McLaurin. You guys are going to see he's going to be top 5. But I'm going to take him in the second round, and I'm going to prove all you wrong. You don't prove anybody wrong when you nail McLaurin in the second round. I'm not saying you're going to do that. I'm just letting you know, and anybody know, is that you take a guy like that too early, you're completely ruining all the upside. But dude, yeah, McLaurin, I'd say more like 10, but certainly capable of being a top 5 wide receiver. Okay, you won't, Matthew. I know you won't, Matthew. I was just saying that. I just want to make sure. But I like him, bro. I like him. Fitz will get him the ball. The only part I don't like about McLaurin is that his quarterback of the future is not on the team right now. And that kind of sucks, man. That kind of sucks that he's got to go through this again, learning from a new quarterback. It will make him kind of dynamic, but it sucks, man. The QB this year is Ryan Fitzpatrick, which is pretty darn good. He feeds his wide receivers footballs over and over. Sims is better than Terry. Noah, get out of here, bro. Like, really? How do you not like Scary Terry? Noah, out of all people, how do you not like Scary Terry, man? That's a total Noah guy. I don't. You like the underdog. Scary Terry's being kind of overlooked. He's got top 5 to 10 wide receiver potential. You don't have to pay that because everyone's dogging him. Like, oh, Scary Terry, yeah, I like him. He's like a wide receiver, high end wide receiver 3, maybe late wide receiver 2. Like, that's totally up your alley, Noah. That's your guy, bro. What are you doing? Vaccine or no? I don't care. I'll admit. I got it. I got the first one. I'm gonna get the booster. I think in a couple days. I didn't really want to get it, but I did. I'm torn. I've seen I Am Legend, man. You can't trick me. You can't trick me. And I saw that movie. I know what time it is, and so I'm a little bit apprehensive. But I figure it was time. I kind of got talked into it, to be honest. With like, I let the family peer pressure. Like half my family's like, don't do it, but then like immediate family, it's like new baby. You're like pressured to get it. So I got it. Everything's good so far. Van Jefferson breakout. I'm not feeling it, Concepts. I'm not feeling it, bro. Deontay, fourth round steal. Could be. Could also drop the football a lot. Tough to say, man. If Juju had gone elsewhere, I'd have probably been more on board with that. But now it's kind of like a big, cluster over there. Yeah, bro. I got pressured. I got pressured into it. But that's okay. It might work out. It might be one of those good things, like you auto draft and it's like ends up being a good pick. I got auto drafted the vaccine. Fell asleep and got it. Barkley will go top 7. He will certainly. He's going like 2 or 3, bro, right now. We did a couple mock drafts and Barkley's going so high. Whereas Ridley on your wide receiver rankings, quietly outside my top 5, but inside my top 5 in my mind, in my heart, bro. On my covered tattoo that I don't have, it would have. If I had a tattoo, it would be Ridley top 5, but I don't draft in there. I draft him outside the top 5. That's what my tattoo would say. Yeah, top 7, mad disrespect for Barkley. I agree. Noah, I agree with you. I didn't even know it was Noah. I was reading that comment totally objectively, and I said top 7 is mad disrespect for Barkley. I totally agree. I saw Noah. I'm like, oh my God, I agree with Noah. Holy crap. Noah and I are like on the same page, bro. Zeke is like where Barkley was ranked. Zeke was like outside the top 6 to 10. Like at times he'd go like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And so was Barkley. And then now Barkley's in the 2, 3. I told everybody it was like last year freaking out on Barkley, trading him in Dynasty for crap, second round players and stuff. Time heals everything. It heals wounds. It heals ACLs. It heals feelings. It heals bad drafting, bad decision making. Time heals everything. And I told you, Barkley will be back in everybody's top 5 running backs soon enough. Just calm down. Let the ACL, surgery happen. Let the months kind of, roll by. And then all of a sudden, Barkley's back at 2, 3, 4 overall. In Dynasty, redraft doesn't matter. Zeke, different story. A lot of miles. Got a Ridley jersey for Christmas, and I'm loving it. I gave away a signed, autographed Ridley jersey on my Super Bowl live stream, bro. How you like that? What's up, Seclan? I'm Seclan. I'm on I'm down. I'm kind of on north downtown. North downtown, Seclan. Like Central Avenue. But I'm a good like 4 or 5 miles from downtown. James Robinson 12 if Wilson or Fields go at QB. I'm in Santan right now. Attaboy, Seclan. Saw that, but there's no way I was getting it. Oh, not true, bro. Travis, in fact, I think I had a pretty easy way of getting it. I forget how we gave it away. In full PPR, thank you for the Super Chat, Austin. Super Chat's coming back in strong tonight. In a full PPR this year, would you rather have Zeke or Eckler? Full PPR this year, Zeke or Eckler? God, that that's one of the toughest questions. Everybody answer that for me for Austin. In a PPR, would you rather have Zeke or Eckler? I'm gonna. I must look a little sus right now. A little sus, suspicious, suspect, and suspicious. Double sus. I look double sus right now. Got my clown shoes on. Got my red shirt, yellow hat. Look like a clown. Not close, says Noah. Noah, on what side, though? Oh, Zeke. You said above. Yeah, I like Eckler, but I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Tell me if this is off base. For those of you that said Eckler, tell me if I don't convince you right now. Eckler has as much situational risk, like usage and injury history and injury prone. He's injury prone. Like we can't dance around that. He's injury prone. He is for sure. I don't see how anybody could argue that Zeke's got any more risk than Eckler. I feel like they're both pretty risky. The only difference is Eckler might fall a little bit later, but in this question right here, I smell cinnamon rolls, bro. Didn't this happen last time we were like someone in here in these restaurants here? They're closed, but somebody's baking cinnamon rolls, bro. This is the second time they've done this. They bake them right around midnight or 11. Oh, that smells so good. Damn. Some days I just want to. Who cares about working out and just eat cinnamon rolls every day? Damn it. Smitty, are you like a cartoon character? You wear the same clothes every day? Not really, bro. I wear a lot of different clothes. I change a lot because I'm sweating doing videos in a studio. I run 2 or 3 times a day. Sometimes I run 3 times a day, but uh, no, I wear a lot of different clothes, bro. I do wear some of the similar like shirts and stuff, like a black T-shirt on my live streams, or like a white, yeah, black or gray. But a lot of that's because it's comfortable, and I don't know, maybe it's my uniform. I think we got uniforms. I think, yeah, I just instilled a uniform policy at the fantasy football show. We wear a gray or a black um, workout type shirt. Here's the police. I didn't have any questions. I just wanted to say what's up. Thank you, Grant. Appreciate you, Grant. Zeke was a top 3 before a Dak injury. Zeke only missed 1 game last year. Smitty, are you like a cartoon? Okay, I think I'm caught up. Eckler, your favorite local? Oh, Eckler. The question got answered. I started reading one question and then it switched to another. Eckler gonna lead all running backs in receptions this year. He could silver. I think a good offseason, no COVID with Herbert will be pretty fun. Favorite local fast food restaurant? Oh man, fast food. Uh, Fast food. I'd probably say um, In and Out. If I had to say like fast food, I like a lot of the small pizza joints around here, but they're not like fast food. They're like quick food. All the way from Toronto, attaboy Travis. What's up, Ball is Life? Where do you rank James Robinson? I rank him a lot higher than other people, bro. What's up, Joe? Appreciate you, Joe. I rank Robinson around 13 to 15 overall in redraft. I rank him around 18 to 22 in Dynasty, and I feel bad about it. But there's so many good players that it's hard. Like I made fun of a couple people that ranked Robinson in the 3rd round. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, where I was in a clubhouse debate. I'm like, what are you doing, Robinson in the 3rd round? What are you doing? And then I did a Dynasty mock, and I'm like, oh God, I love Robinson, but I can't take him here. I love Robinson. I can't take him here. I love Robinson. I can't take him here. And he ended up being like late in the 2nd round, and I think I forced him there just so I could please myself in my argument earlier in the day. And it's like there's just a lot of good players that go in the late 2nd round of dynasty startups, but in redraft it's like 12. It's like 12 to 15. Like there's nothing wrong with Robinson. I don't care if Robinson's a freaking unrestricted free agent. So was Arian Foster and Priest Holmes. He's in good company. Kurt Warner was bagging groceries at a local grocery store in where was he at? Was he in St. Louis? I don't know. What's everyone? Why does everyone love Mixon every year? Matthew, I don't know. Every year I tell you to avoid him. I miss the days of Smitty late night pizza runs. Bro, I'm right outside the pizza joint. They're closed right now, but we can definitely hook this up this year a little more. Now that COVID's kind of over, I think I can just walk in. I can even eat it right here, bro. I can eat it right here. I'll get a pizza pie. I mean, you guys super chat sometimes get me over here. Like they're like, we'll give you a super chat if you go to the pizza place. I don't know why you love me live streaming at the pizza place, but that's why I do it, bro. Scooter time's almost here. I might do it with like gloves and a full bag on, like a full body bag and like hairnet and like goggles, so that I don't have to touch the actual scooter because I'm kind of like a germaphobe to begin with, and now I got to get on a scooter with COVID. So maybe I'll do it with like a big bag on, I look like a bag man. That might be fun. Kurt Warner grocery store was in Iowa. I didn't know that actually, Matt. Later, Avi. Stay in school, bro. I'm from St. Louis. We worship Kurt Warner. Matt, who doesn't? You'd have to be some kind of a-hole to not appreciate Kurt Warner. So I'm with you, bro. Kurt Warner is one of my favorite players and people. If Aaron Jones gets Jamal Williams, catches that he left, he will have 80 catches next year. First of all, I think they re-signed Jamal. Did they not, guys? I'm pretty sure they did. But let me tell you something. Jamal's the best thing that could happen to Aaron Jones because he's no real threat, man. Like, you don't want a rookie. Like, that's the thing people don't understand. You get what you wish sometimes, man. If you say, I don't want Jamal Williams to land there. What am I kidding you about now, Noah? I don't want Jamal to land there because I want Aaron Jones to get all the carries. They're going to bring in a backup. And you want Jamal Williams over freaking Chuba Hubbard or Carter or Hill or whoever. You don't want that. Who's the best running back to own on the 49ers? Probably Mostert, man. Mostert has the makings of a high-end running back, too, in fantasy. You just can't stay healthy. Warner is a starting QB on all-time undrafted team. Dude, he's like my number one favorite player regardless. Him and Priest Holmes, A.J. Dillon, and Jones show. Oh, yeah, Williams is in Detroit. That's right. And, yeah, you don't need to worry. Like, Williams going to Detroit, Jeff Wilson. I like Wilson. What was I saying? Oh, Dillon's going to pick up whatever Williams will vacate. Like, don't. I mean, Aaron Jones isn't going to see an uptick of anything. You want Aaron Jones being right where he was last year. Like, who wants Aaron Jones doing more? He'll get hurt. That's the whole reason why it was best to have him return to Green Bay, not go elsewhere, because you don't want this guy getting more volume. He'll get hurt, bro. Ridley or Jefferson redraft? I think Ridley, you could lean is safer, but I like Jefferson more, man. I'm not going to lie. I'd rather have Jefferson. I'd rather have both, like Hazelnut said, both. Is Kyler top 5 for fantasy? Yeah. I love Jefferson. Bold predictions, the number one wide receiver in fantasy football in 2021. End of year, week 17. And let's talk about that. Adding another game. Are you kidding me? At week 17's end, I can't say week 16 anymore. There's 17 games now. 18 games, really. But, 18 weeks and 17 games for each team. At week 17's end, Justin Jefferson, I predict, will be the number one wide receiver. It's a little bit of a bold take. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. Daniel Jones or Fitzpatrick. Probably Fitzpatrick, but he'll get hurt, bro. Is Trevor Lawrence a top 10 pick in Superflex startup? I don't know about top 10 overall in a full startup, bro. But I'd probably say he's going to get there. But I don't know that I pay that yet. I don't think that's his asking price yet. But every league's different. Every Superflex different. Sometimes like 8 straight quarterbacks go, and then you're in a different league than I play in. And it's hard to give advice for 2 QB leagues that kind of fall away from the norm of where people get valued. You like Bobby Trees? Bobby Trees is pretty good. Is Bobby Trees top 10 with Stafford? Robert Woods is probably, like, he could flirt around that range, but I probably wouldn't take him there. But I'd be hopeful if I had him that he could, do that well. Rams wide receivers with Stafford should be a lot upgraded. Yeah. Definitely, bro. Is Connor done like Gurley? Um, he's got to find a starting gig, and I don't think he will. So ultimately, by default, he might be done. But is he got more in the tank than Gurley? Maybe, but I don't know if we'll see it. Bobby Trees, a lot of Bobby Trees comments here. A lot of Bobby Tree fans in the house, bro. And Chase Edmonds, let me address Chase Edmonds. Feels a lot like AJ Dillon, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I know a lot of people want to be excited. You own them in a dynasty league. You're hoping you have gold. You're kind of biased toward it, like, oh no, they like him. They said they like him. But be honest with yourself. If you got Chase Edmonds and you can get rid of him at high value, you might want to look into it. Be honest with yourself. Like the odds of the Cardinals not addressing a running back at some point, I don't know, man. Even if it was like a Connor or a trade or Hubbard later in the draft, don't rule out Najee Harris or ETN going to the Cardinals in the first round. I know a lot of people think no, they wouldn't do that, but they might. They might. In fact, in the Quad Box live that I do on Instagram every Friday night with my boys, Dr. Raj and everybody, there's like 500 to 1,000 people in the live constantly. It's freaking fun as hell. We do a Quad Box live. Make sure you subscribe to me on Instagram and hit notifications on so you know when I go live. But it's usually Friday night. We go live for like 1 to 3 hours. It depends on what we're talking about. And um, we're talking. Oh, we did a mock draft. We did a 4-hour mock draft. We mock draft every pick in the first round and talked out every pick. And we had 3 votes, I think, for Najee Harris to go to the Arizona Cardinals. And yeah, ETN with Kyler would be dope, but 3 out of the 4 of us predicted that. So it's not just me. It's a fun possibility, and the Cardinals are sick on D. They've got of course anybody can address like the offensive line and stuff, but Harris would improve the offensive line immediately because he gives your offense a dynamic that makes defenses have to scheme you different. You see a whole lot less of the same approach you'd have if you just had Chase Edmonds back there. But I'm telling you, AJ Dillon smells a lot like, or Chase Edmonds smells a lot like AJ Dillon, in that he could be without a job, without a starting job, just with the draft approaching. Who would sign James Conner? Cardinals? Jaguars wide receivers with Lawrence this year. I like Chenault a lot. I like Chark a lot. I think he's got 2 really underrated wide receivers. I don't really know which one I like more at this point. Probably Chark, but Chenault's got a little more dynasty appeal. And DJ Chark didn't do amazing last year, even though he had a tough situation. But I kind of feel like Chenault might be the better bet to kind of, because he could have his hidden talent. He could be that hidden guy. A lot of people liked him coming out of college, but didn't like his landing spot, obviously. And so he kind of vanished from people's minds, a lot like a couple other players have. There's just good, like Mims. Denzel Mims is on no one's mind. And they're going to take Zach Wilson most likely, and Denzel Mims could be a big riser, bro. That Cinnabon smells good, bro. Marvin Jones to Jacksonville, thoughts? Marvin Jones, he's always crafty, man. I don't know how I feel about Marvin Jones. What's your perfect breakfast, bro? Probably like bacon and cheese potatoes, omelet, or steak and eggs with potatoes, either one. Debo's a legit wide receiver too. In fantasy, it's different than, talking football, straight football. Fantasy, I don't know that it depends on what they do at quarterback. I think currently, no, because I think Ayuk might be a little bit better. Debo's injury prone. You factor in situation, volume, the type of offense that Niner offense is. I got a lot of Niner people, and I assume you're one of them. They can't see, in a good way, the forest from the trees. And it's like, you're only going to have such a good, you're only going to have so many passes going out of that offense. It's going to be a lot of running defense. You don't have enough footballs to spread around to make Kittle, Ayuk, and Debo all freaking top 10 at their position or top 5 or whatever. So one of Debo or Ayuk won't likely have the same year you're hoping, or they both will kind of take away from each other, but both play pretty well. Tough to say. I kind of like Ayuk a little bit better, and Debo, has to prove he can stay healthy. But I love Debo. I love Ayuk. I love Kittle. I love that offense. It's really good. The running game's going to be legit. How do I feel about Antonio Gibson with the questionable situation in Washington? And what questionable situation, though? Fitzpatrick should be pretty well for 1 year. I love McLaurin. Gibson's used perfectly. They know what they have. I love Gibson. I think he's a fantastic late second-round pick. All right, broskies, I might be out of here. I like this. I'm going to do 2 of these a week, I think. Come out here, get outside, get some fresh air. I'm cooped up in the studio all the time. It gives me a different mindset, different attitude, different ability to help you guys, one-on-one. I think this would be a good place to answer questions constantly. Super chats come flowing in when I'm out here, and I think this would be good. I get a pizza pie. Let's go get my pizza pie right here. Sit down and answer questions and talk football with you guys for a good hour or two. Tonight I'm going to cut it short just because I got to get back. I'm on baby duty, and if the baby starts crying and I'm not home, Miss Smitty's going to be like, "Can you get the baby?" And I'm not there. I'm out running. I'm out running, doing a live stream. It's my shift. I'm on baby shift right now. I'm not even there. I've been on baby shift for 76 minutes ago. 80 minutes ago, baby shift started. But she fell asleep. The newborn fell asleep, and I'm like, dude, I'm good to go for a good hour and a half based on the historical data and trending with a standard deviation, with the weather change and the amount of food she ate before she went to bed and the diaper change, all of it calculated on the curve line that I have where the axis meets the radius and the flux capacitor meets the 2.4 gigawatt convention system that comes down to it on an L-shaped curve. I knew that I had more than 77 minutes and I could go running, do a live stream, come back in, and the baby wouldn't have even been awake yet. But we know what happens with all that calculation, bro. No, I didn't leave the baby alone, Matt. Miss Smitty, she's sleeping and she's going to nudge me. I'm not, I'm running and doing a live stream. So she's going to be nudging the pillow and she's going to go, "Can you get the baby?" So did I leave the baby? What are you talking about, Matt? Take a lap. So, yeah. Miss Smitty's gonna be pissed if I'm not home. That baby starts crying. It's my shift, and yeah, so I better start walking to the car. I gotta run though first. This is a long run, a 77-minute run. Later, Hazel. Miles Sanders or Gibson, man, because as I mentioned, Gibson's a second rounder. Miles Sanders is not a second rounder. He's a good late third for sure, but they're a good round apart, bro. Later, cold one. Later, Bronson. Later, Matt. Yeah, I may need to take a lap. Miss Smitty will make me take a lap if that baby wakes up and starts crying and she's looking to me. All right, guys. I doing one thing more important than Miss Smitty. Miss Smitty was not amused. Miss Smitty, what would be great is if Miss Smitty chimed in here and was like, "Get home. The baby's crying. It's your shift. Where are you?" That would be classic. That would be classic. All right. Peace out, everybody. Appreciate you.